Hello, world history students. This is Mrs. Politsky, and I have your notes for chapter 24, section 1. And we're going to talk a little bit about mass society and democracy, but we're going to focus primarily on the growth of industrial prosperity. So, we're going to begin talking about the second industrial revolution. Steel, chemicals, electricity, petroleum all led the way to new industrial frontiers. So, the second industrial revolution was spurred by inventions such as the Bessemer process for steel production, and the use of electricity to power homes and factories. The Bessemer process, for the most part, was a maybe a different procedure from the original procedure of how to make steel. And the steel that was produced was of a much higher quality as far as strength was concerned. And this is going to be important when we talk about the building of railroads, bridges, skyscrapers, and all of that. The light bulb is was invented by two individuals, and credit kind of varies depending on where you live in the world. In the United States, we credit Thomas Edison. But if you happen to be in Great Britain, Joseph Swan is credited with making a light bulb as well. Alexander Graham Bell and his invention of the telephone, and uh, Giulio Lemo Marconi, and for his breakthrough of using radio waves as far as a form of communication. Marconi is kind of known for Morse code. So, mass transportation improved with the invention of the internal combustion engine, and this engine gave rise to ocean liners, airplanes, and eventually automobiles. Henry Ford's invention of a new manufacturing process known as the assembly line definitely brought more products to consumers. In Europe and throughout the world, the industrial urban economies experienced higher standards of living than those that were just agricultural economies. James Watt is credited with the design of an efficient steam engine that ultimately ended our dependence of the manufacturing along the flow of rivers. So now we could put a factory wherever we wanted it. Poor working and living conditions led many industrial workers to form socialist political parties. The socialist trade unions were in a bid to improve the lives of people. So, in their publication of the Communist Manifesto, Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels blamed capitalism for the poor conditions in industrial factories. And I'm not necessarily talking about maybe the inner sides of the factory, but I'm talking about the way the workers lived. Karl Marx believed that world history was characterized by class struggles over the means of production, and he believed that society was splitting into two hostile camps. You had the middle class, bourgeoisie, who were the oppressors, and then you had the working class, known as the proletariat, who were the ones who were suffering under all of this. So, pure Marxists thought capitalism could only be defeated by revolution. But but revisionists have argued that political involvement and reform probably would be best. Workers organized labor unions to improve their working conditions through the right to strike. And really, in the late 1800s, you're going to hear about a lot of strikes happening worldwide, even in the United States. And a lot of these strikes, unlike strikes today, became very hostile. Lots of violence by those protesters. Thank you very much.